Hello my friends and welcome back to Sew Aldo. For today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to make a perfect neckband. So this is perfect for t-shirts or any garment really that you want the neckline to look nice and pretty. If you want to see how, just stay tuned and keep on watching. Pattern that I use for this project is the same one that I used for the Meghan Markle inspired dress. I am going to tweak the neckline and I will add a waistband on the skirt. I think it's called inset waistband. I'm just going to kind of alter the pattern a little bit, and I will not be adding darts, so I will have to take in the waistline of the bodice, but I will do that later on. So I already pre-cut all the fabrics that I will need for this project. So I cut out the front and back bodices. I also cut out the sleeves. And this dress is going to have a waistband. So I also cut that out. And I will also need a bias tape that is 2 inches wide and probably a little bit longer than the neckline because I will have to measure that later on. Two panels of fabrics here that measure 27 by 27. So basically this is a square fabric. So the next thing I did was join the shoulder seams and the side seams. I will be using my serger for this project, but you can go ahead and use your sewing machine for this. It's totally fine. I also serged the inseam of the sleeves. And this is the bias tape that I'm going to be using for the neckline. So basically this is 2 inches wide, including the seam allowances. I didn't have enough fabric to make a long bias tape, so I just did 2 strips and I'm just going to join them at the seam, so I will have a long strip of bias tape. Now it's time to figure out how much bias tape I will need for the neckline. So first I am going to measure out the neckline all the way around using my tape measure. The measurement is 22 inches and a half, and then I will go ahead and multiply it by 0.85, and the answer is around 19.12. I will measure the bias tape in that same measurement, 19.12 inches, plus the seam allowance. So basically I just use a quarter of an inch seam allowance here. In all reality, you want to avoid this situation right here. I just don't have enough fabric. I am so bummed when I measure it out and it's just not long enough. But because I'm the boss of this project, I am going to make it work, as Mr. Tim Guns will say, make it work. I'll just have to make sure that I'm going to put the seams or the ugly seams at the back of the shirt so nobody will notice it. And then I'll go ahead and sew the seam right here. And then I also went ahead and pressed the neckband. And now I am going to quarter the neckband, and I'm also making sure that the ugly seams are at the back. And I'm also going to do the same thing on the neckline. I'm going to quarter it. So first I grab the front and back center of the neckline, and then I'm going to put pins to mark it. And then I'm going to position the neckline just like this, and I'm going to fold it over to figure out the center of the shoulders, because sometimes the seams is not always the center of the garment or the neckline. And then I'm going to put pins to mark it as well, so I can easily match the neckband later on. I am going to place the neckband on the right side of the fabric. So I'm basically just going to match it right here. I'm going to match all the pins. Also want to match the raw edges of the fabrics. And then I'll go ahead and serge it all the way around. You can do a stretch stitch or zigzag stitch if you like to. Just be sure that you are sewing 3 layers of fabrics, and the neckline is going to be a little longer than the neckband. So you want to stretch out the neckline a little bit to match the neckband. It is important that you use a bias tape, in my opinion, because the bias tape will actually follow the curve of the neckline. If you just use a regular long strip of fabric that is not cut on bias tape, it kind of tends to pucker up, because I've done that before and I didn't like the look. So if you want to go ahead and do extra steps, make your own bias tape, that will be really nice. Now it should look something like this. I'm going to press it so it will look much nicer. I love my steam iron, by the way. And anyway, for this project, I decided not to top stitch it because I actually like this look. I know this is a t-shirt dress, but I actually like the look of much more like a dressy t-shirt, if you will. If you want to go ahead and top stitch it, you can totally do that, but I'm going to skip that step for this project. Use your regular sewing machine, or if you have a cover stitch, you can do that. If you decided to do a cover stitch, it's gonna look like this. I did this blouse for my daughter a few weeks ago, and I cover stitched the neckline, and it looks nice as well. But for this project, I'm not going to do that. I also went ahead and attached the sleeves on the bodice, and it looks like this. It looks pretty already, and the full tutorial of this project is going to be available soon. I said last week I will be posting 2 tutorials this month of December, so if you get bored, you have something to do this holiday break. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like this video if this is helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye!